let me set up these replays. For a couple more games, we're going to have a Tentat, K1 Mura, Superman, and AK Evader. First game is going to be a Tentat versus K1 Mura as I look for this replay. Okay, there it is. Oh, hey. Let's see, that is, yeah, so we're going to have a TVZ. We're going to see if our Group 22 Terrans are as cheesy as our Group 21 Terrans. We're going to hop right into it. Alright, what does the camera start there? Let's get a couple of our things set up as we get the good music for this one. In the top right, we have the red Terran squad, headed by their brave commander, K1 Mura. And in the bottom left, we have our the coming to a Tentat. There we go. Coming to infest and consume the Terran outpost is our yellow Zerg brood, led by a Tentat. Oh my god, the name's wrong. Move that. Alright, there we go. Now, if there's a matchup I don't know, it's this one. I don't play either of these races, and yeah, I don't have much to talk about here. Oh, I like this Overlord path. Kind of checks, I guess, for the angle. Might be a bit better to check for proxies. Especially since it looks like a Tentat's going for a 12 hatch. So we have a bit of our greed here coming in. Is this gonna be 3? No, that's a scouting drone. I really should pay more attention in when I watch ASL, because I actually, every time I see this drone go out to scout, I just think, but you have an Overlord out already, and I'm like, no, this is probably what you do as Zerg. Right. Alright. So just super standard stuff here from both players. K1 is probably getting their bunker up. Or I guess a supply depot can work, and then you build the bunker right here. I guess. They don't have to be in too much of a rush to do that, since Tentat went for a faster hatchery, so the Zerglings won't get across too soon. But that is an extremely fast lair, I think. Again, not sure about the specifics of the timing for everything in this base, but it feels like that's super fast. I mean, only 2 pairs of Zerglings are coming out. But I may be wrong. Kilmer getting their second barracks up. I guess that would be the right time, because it looks like they're going to have enough gas for the Spire as soon as the lair finishes. So I think, yeah, that is just the right timing for a Spire. So we're going to see some pretty fast Mutalisks. No bunker up, so K1 Mura That scouting SCV saved him a lot of early minerals, since he's like, okay, you're not building too many Zerglings, I can just... Ooh. SCV is caught by a very nice spread of Zerglings. But it will get baited back and killed. Nope, there's the Spire. And with the refinery finishing, K1 Mirror will soon be able to get their own tech started. Wow. Yeah, Tentat really is, I mean, they aren't replenishing any, like, Zergling count. They aren't making any more. I mean, K1 Mirror, it seems like this Marine pushout is more to call a bluff, if anything. It's like basically saying, oh, wait, I've seen one Zergling? What if I just run across the map? Of course, a Tentat will be able to get creep colonies, or sunken colonies up in time, but K1 Mirror has forced the defenses a lot earlier than they than you usually would in this matchup. Sunkens will... Dang, that is a... Wow, the drones actually have to run up to keep the Marines from coming too far forward and sniping the colonies as they finish. Of course, if you move to the third base, that's crazy. If he was like, hold on, let me just check the third base just in case, this would have been denied, and that would have been a huge gain. But as it stands, he forced the 2 sunken colonies to get built, and that's a pretty small victory this early in the game. But a victory nonetheless. SCV's coming down the scout. Let's see what the scan... Nope, that's the wrong person. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, scan in the main, so he knows that there are Mutalisks in play. SCV just barely doesn't get the scout on the third, so we still don't have any confirmation of what's going on in there. That's a lot of Mutalisks. K1 luckily does have a really nice turret placement here, defending the barracks and the expansion mineral line. That is probably not the correct angle for Mutalisks. However, there is a bit of an arc here. He's going to be able to sneak his flappy boys around and come in from the back. Not if those Marines have anything to say about it. While this is happening, both players doing a good job of teching up. Starport's coming in from K1, so we will be getting science vessels pretty soon, and the lurkers are coming in from a Tentat as well as a Queen's Nest, so we're going to be seeing a lair very soon. These 3 drones, they're ready to mine gas. They're just standing there like, no. Get the extractor up. Send us in, boss. We got this. I'm missing an entire Mutalisk attack. Oh my god. That's... okay. There they go. Alright. I don't think the Mutalisk got too much done. Again, the turret placement here from K1 Mirror is really good, and his Marine movement has done a great job of keeping them out of their base. Wow, right into Hive. If K1 Mirror doesn't start pushing out and a Tentat's able to get their 4th up easily, then this could be a very bad position, because once a Zerg gets to 4 gases, they're entirely, like, completely online. They can do pretty much whatever they want. On 3 gases, the Terran still has some room to play. They can work with that. A Zerg on 4 gases is like, okay, Ultralisks, Defilers, Guardians, shoot, We'll add on some queens and get broodlings just for fun. Here comes the push out. That is a lot of marines. There's no lurkers anywhere. That's nope. There's where are the lurkers? Ah, there they are. So there are 6 lurkers somewhere, but not here, and that's going to be a very big problem. I think. Wow, actually, I think K1 is going to get this base. He just needs to pull the trigger, get up there. Yep, there he goes. The Marines are the Mutalisks are going to try and do a flank. A bit of some missed micro here. The lurkers do finally come out and get the burrow. K1 Mura, a moment of hesitation costs him his ability to deny this base. That was the blue spy. All right. Yeah. So this army is getting a little bit split up, and a lot of the Marines are getting down to very low health. Back home, the macro has been okay. The Marine army has been kind of getting replenished. We're only on 4 barracks, though. So Kawamura doesn't have a doesn't really have the infrastructure here to rebuild their army as quickly as they need to, especially now that the filers are just about to start coming out. Big drop play here, though. This could be really good. Unfortunately, the Mutalisks kind of, well, actually, no, the Mutalisk numbers have been thin, so drops can go down. It's just a question of where. I mean, there's a lot of defenses in the 3rd. There's lurkers here. There's, I mean, the natural really isn't a good target for it. I guess if you drop right here, you can force the lurkers to come back up, but, I mean, there's still 2 lurkers in the space. It looks like he's going for a double drop. He's going to hit both the natural and the 3rd. Ooh. Yeah, an unfortunate placement there, just in range of the lurkers. Will get punished, but I think he only got like 1 drone in this attack. Yeah, so drops, both drops not really getting anything done. However, we're getting the science vessels now, though, and so those will give the Terran the ability that they need to live against the Zerg, like, at all. With Scourge coming out, I mean, yeah. I'm not exactly sure where the inflection point of this game was. I think it was when K1 moved out and didn't really get enough done with that huge force. But that seemed to have been the inflection point where this started favoring a Tentat a whole lot. Especially since K1 doesn't really... He's only on... Okay, he's just now getting on his 5th and 6th barracks, but he needed those like 5 minutes ago. Let's say. Oh, another drop in the natural does a bit more, but the Marines get baited up to attacking into the sunken colonies. One stays behind and starts taking out an extractor, but the dropship leaves him to die to cover its own ass. The Marine Force here is keeping a Tet-Tet in their base, so it's not like K1 Mura is on the brink of losing, but it just feels like technically a Tentat is ahead. I mean, they're down, they have Defilers, they have Ultralisks, they're getting Scourge to pick off Science Vessels. But, again, a Tentat is still only on 3 gas, and you can really see the difference here in Tentat's minerals and gas, where they just, they aren't getting the right income that they need to get their tech fully operational. 2 drones die for the sake of 1, and there's no one even in that dropship. All right, Irradiate goes down on the Defiler, really good. The whole swarm of... Okay, a lot of Scourge get traded in for one Science Vessel, but hey, sometimes you take those. And the Lurkers burrow under the Dark Swarm first, force K1 Mira back. Radiates go down to start cleaning them up. Oh, and finally the drop comes back down into the main. These Marines will get that Sunken Colony eventually, but not today. And the Irradiates keep coming down on the Lurkers. Let's see. Siege mode is being researched. That can help push entrenched Lurkers. Even siege tanks without siege mode will outrange Lurkers. So sometimes you probably don't even need siege mode. You can just get like one or two siege tanks and just get vision of the Lurker and pop them from out of distance, and they will die eventually. Maybe not as fast, but it's never fast to kill Lurkers. So, oh man, yeah, Tentat getting a lot of his upgrades. Ultralisk armor has already been researched, so Ultralisk speed is on the way. However, again, there just isn't enough gas for those Ultralisks, although that is a scary amount of Defilers. Yeah, the Defilers, the Defiler count hasn't been managed too well here from K1 Mira. A lot of Irradiates have gone down on Lurkers, and Lurkers are killable by Marines. Defilers not as much. It's much more important to snipe these guys. And I see another Irradiate goes down on a Lurker. That could have been one of these Wrigleys. Yep, Marines try to dive in. Not a great attack. You're never going to win that one. And they're going to have to retreat. However, K1 Mira is able to get their 4th up. So maybe, I mean, we could get into a similar situation where even though K1 Mira isn't being like super efficient with their army, they're using the position that they have to just get a bunch of bases and mine a whole lot. I mean, I don't think there should ever be a situation where a Terran has more bases than a Zerg player. Where are they? Where are the battle cruisers? We have 3 starports. Why aren't we? What? That Yamato is being researched. We need 3 cruiser production. All right, there's the 4th going down from a Tentat. The sneakiest drone alive makes its way up there. Again, this is I'm gonna say this. I said it last time I cast. I'm gonna say it this time too. A Marine is 50 minerals. It is virtually nothing, especially 17 minutes in a game, to just put 1 Marine at every base. It's free at this point in the game. Like, every Marine is free in terms of supply, in terms of spent minerals. Ooh. Plague goes down, and the red goop hits each. That was a weird. The red goop hits all these Marines. The medic energy will get completely drained. Okay, Irradiate's going down on the Psi vessels, or on the Defilers, and slowly picking them off. The Tentat's trying to push out, but again, wow, actually, I mean, okay, now here comes the Ultralisk, and this is maybe the point where the Zerg can push out if we get a Dark Swarm up in here. But it looks like, where are the Defilers? They're just lagging behind the army a bit too much, and these Ultralisks are going to take a ton of damage. The Marine count is just insane. And even though the Dark Swarm does come down eventually, there's only 1 Lurker here to take advantage of it. So that was a lot of stuff thrown away from a Tentat. Yeah, 1-2 Marines were absolutely shredding. I mean, but those were 4 armor Ultralisks. It's just that without those Dark Swarms, you had tanks, you had Marine fire, you had Irradiates going down. It was just crazy. That's why you really need to keep those Defilers up with that army. so that it maintains that pushing power, because Terran DPS is insane. And K1 Mirror is even like going a step further and just getting the big guns. Science Vessel is going to move into position to start spotting this, and yeah, we're going to be in a very dangerous position here for a 10-tat. Battle Cruiser, wait, where'd he go? Battle Cruiser is operational with the Yamato cannon, so we're going to see, I mean, what? Where's the Marine? Brood War is a weird game. Don't know how he got stuck in there. But, oh man, and there goes the fourth. It's going to get denied. More Radiates come down on these Ultralisks. Finally, Defilers come out, ready to throw down a Dark Swarm. Maybe one right here. Okay, there does work. But the Ultralisks are already irradiated, so their health is very low. And, I mean, yeah, with the tanks coming in, the Irradiates are doing so much residual damage, and there's just so many Marines. Like, armored up Ultralisks do not take a lot of damage from Marines, but when you have this many Marines, you will melt through anything. It's insane. Unfortunately, Zerg does not have any Psy Storm or Reaver equivalent to completely just nuke all of them. Yeah, now the vessel count has gotten out of hand. I know I was giving K1 some crap earlier about not irradiating Defilers, but I mean, they're more than making up for it. Look at, like, I don't know how many vessels. That is more than a control group of science vessels. A 10-tat is just trying to flood Zerglings in, and whenever this happens as a Zerg player where you're just making a bunch of Zerglings and just trying to get something out, the GG isn't too far behind, and K1 Mirror is going to take our first game of Group 22. Our next match is going to be 10-tat versus... Oh my god, did I get the name wrong? Here. Oh yeah, a 10-tat versus Superman. And a Protoss versus Zerg. Once again on Eclipse. We're going to hop right into it. Time to see just... Oh no. What do you mean the application has encountered an unexpected error? What? God damn it, Blizzard. Again? Okay, not sure what that was about. But we will get into the game. I don't know why it crashed. We'll just load that replay back up. Week 2, Group 22. 10-tat versus Superman. Okay. And we're going to get into it now. I'm not sure what caused that. Blizzard just loves breaking their game, I guess. Alright. In the top right corner of Eclipse, once again when the purple Protoss defending the top right of Eclipse. I don't know what it is. Apparently these two groups It's just the Terran is trying to take this little area. We have some cannon crossover. Superman is now leading the purple Protoss entrenched here. And is going to be assaulted by the yellow Zerg Tentat. Did I say Terran earlier? I might have. But a Tentat is the yellow Zerg. So he killed the Terran that was up here? No, he was fought back by the Terran that was up here. And then I guess the Protoss took it from the Terran, and now a Tentat's gonna try again. With the 9 pool. Alright. Time to see just exactly what the plan here for... Ooh, nice drone trick. Getting a little bit of extra value out of his time. Probe comes up here, sees that it is a 9 pool, or should see a photon cannon put down here pretty soon. Or gateway. No, it's going to be a cannon. And with that, 3 Zerglings are going to come. But that's not a great positioning on that cannon, yeah. Superman looked like they were going to build a nexus before the gateway, but they are going to need the building the block. Now, I have a confession. I always thought this was the correct building placement, where you put the pylon there, and then the forge, and then the gateway on top. But apparently, the pylon needs to go right on the edge of this little, like, cliffside here to make the most tight wall. Because like this, apparently the gateway isn't as tight with the egg as it needs to be. Oh, but with 3 probes here, 4 probes here, they're going to... Ooh, that is... Oh no, that is a lot of Zerglings who are going to get into the main. Oh, and the cannon missed the last shot. This is an unmitigated disaster. And Superman's going to have to pull out the extreme, like, Bisu probe micro to kill these Zerglings. Meanwhile, a Tentat can just say, oh, wow, I got Zerglings at the main. Okay, here's my 2nd base and my 3rd base. We're good. Yeah. Oh. The Bisu probes get 2 Zerglings. Now there's only 2 left. Tentat. Let's see if a Tentat is able to make these work a little bit more. Oop, another really great turnaround. Oh my god. Wow, that's crazy. That there were 4 Zerglings. And now there's 1. Superman stuffed them into his magic hat and was like, let me make these disappear real quick. It's literally the easiest I've ever seen Zerglings be dealt with. Or at the very least in a CPL game that I've casted. Alright, another one comes in, tries to get anything done to avenge his brothers. What an absolute god. What are these probes doing? Oh. Okay. And as far as the next layer of PVZ and ZVP goes, both our players are doing the stuff. Getting the Hydras, you get your Corsair, and your Citadel. Yeah. Oh, 3 Zealots move out to try and put some pressure on the third. So that's a pretty good SimCity there, putting the nesting the sunken colony behind the evolution chamber there. And with not a whole lot of Zerglings out, these Zealots should be able to get up here and maybe just wedge themselves up on the cliff, but yeah, that's a lot of Zerglings. So you always like to see it. Unfortunately, I don't think they can really get up in here because that sunken colony is going to have an infinite range in this area. They barely get wedged behind the minerals, but unfortunately they won't be able to stay back. Actually, no, that's, yeah, they can just stay in there for a little bit. Just wedge themselves in here and pop out every now and then. Corsair comes out. There's a couple of Overlords that are free to pick off. No Spire here from a 10-tat. In fact, the lair is actually seems to be really late. Oh, and the Zealots get baited into the sunken colony range and die immediately. I think they got 1 drone though, so that's kind of worth it. At the very least, it's delaying the Zerg, and every second you delay the Zerg, you're getting your Templar Archives up, you're getting Storm, you're getting Zealot Legs, and the Hydralisk push is going to be all the much less effective, I guess, for each thing you kill. Oh, a 10-tat supply blocked with 5 Overlords in production. They're going to have to make it 6 to get back up there. Huge Hydralisk explosion, but unfortunately for a 10-tat, it looks like the timing of it is just going to be a little too slow to really be able to pressure the Protoss expansion. But at the same time, this move out by Superman also really shouldn't get too much done. The SimCity here is really good. Hydralisks are choking up in between the hatcheries, and the sunken colony, I think, can hit to like right around here. So yeah. The oh no, well, you know what, Zealots with speed, they make things happen. They're gonna get jumped to being right on top. Do they have +1? They do. So that sun colony is going to fall. Some Corsairs are gonna fly into the main to try and pick off the Overlords in there, but there are Hydralisks being made. The Zealots are finished off, not doing a whole lot of permanent damage. They, I guess, technically get 1 drone kill because a 10-tat will probably have to remake a sunken in there, but not a great move out. Lost a lot of Corsairs, lost almost all of the Zealots. 1 man runs back to his to the base to tell the others what happened, not realizing that Protoss warp technology already returned all the wounded Zealots for later to be Dragoons. So, like, they kind of already knew that the Zerg had all that. I don't know. Zerglings running out to all the exterior bases just to make sure Superman hasn't expanded there. Love to see it. Corsair just gets back in, gives another scout. Looks like he is now alone in this world. Only 1 left. But now with the High Templar coming out, Superman's army should be extremely powerful. At the very least, okay, and there's the Dragoons, so on time, getting everything he needs to counter the Lurkers, which are the next wrinkle in the Zerg's brain plan. However, we are still missing the Robo Bay and Observatory, which is going to be crucial in keeping the lurkers back. In a pinch, you can use Storm and double Storm on a lurker to kill it without a vision, but that is very difficult to do. Especially while keeping your army alive if the Zerg is like paying attention and moving his lurkers around. Observatory on the way, so ignore everything I just said. Corsair gets caught, and their daily scouting routine. And it looks like Superman at the very least is going to be able to scare back this half of the army, and the other half comes with it. And yeah, he just sets up on the high ground. That's probably a pretty good idea. He doesn't want to overextend and have to fight the whole unified army here at this cliff. You're getting to a point in time where he probably is going to start needing to take that third base. Yeah. So yeah, there's a double wide space here that I think if the pylon is moved to here and then you go forge gateway, you just have a one space wide thing, and then you can kill the egg with your cannons to get the to make the space for the dragoon. That's questionable at best. Not a great move out there. Running unsupported zealots. No okay, the observers are finally coming out. They're on their way. They're coming. The hero unit of the Protoss army. But overlords are also in position to try and snipe it down. Again, the zealots do get baited. It can be very hard to keep them back with the army, especially when you have Hydralisks keep coming up, like and shooting them and running back, and you take a lot of unnecessary damage on them. All right, now Hydras are fully coming up. Not a great storm, but the High Templar are still alive, which opens up a lot of possibilities. First observer gets sniped, second one comes down. Another okay storm zones the Zerg out from forward. We have a lot of storms on these High Templar, and they are getting picked off. Oh, okay, one does go down. Again, not amazing. And it looks like the Protoss army is getting cleared. RSL storms, these are not. This is the CPL. And these High Templar are just throwing it out, trying to cover themselves as they run away. But these, I think at the very least, two of these Templar are going to get taken out. Another storm goes down. The Hydras can just kind of ignore it as they run up and start sniping more High Templar. Each High Templar loss is very hard to replace. And Zerg can just skirt back, come back to their lurkers, and live for free. These Hydralisks will eventually be back up at fighting health. And these Zealots will not, because they're dead. Superman has been getting pretty steady upgrades. They're getting up into a +1 attack, +1 armor. So they do have that lead over a Tentat. They're also getting up into their third base. So they're doing alright. Looks like this probe is getting ready to place the fourth down. Again, I think the observer should move down here, see this base, and he might be able to get it canceled with a zealot run by. But at the same time, he doesn't really have the army to send all those zealots away. So Zerg is gonna have a huge push out. Lurkers mixed in with the Hydras. Storms coming down in the middle. Kind of not hitting the critical masses that it needs to be hitting. Yeah. You can really tell that, I guess you can't, you can't really tell. That was a nice storm. Gets a couple of the Hydralisks on the outskirts, but, the storms are getting thrown out here a bit too quickly. It's kind of like it's one of those abilities you want to wait until you see the whites of their eyes. You want the Zerg to just overcommit just a little too much before you throw them out. Because if you open with the storms, the Zerg can just run away super easily. You want to, like, make sure that the fight is actually happening before you send them in. Again, it's very hard to do, especially when you're down in army supply. Ooh, the Zealots are going to try and run by here, or a Zealot and a Dragoon, but, I mean, you shave off, like, this many Hydralisks and the space is defended. Looks like a Hydralisk flank is coming up to try and either sandwich the army or just deny some bases. Yeah, looks like they're going to be going straight up with the Lurker Arc set up to keep the army up on this ramp. Again, this is a really unfortunate place for Superman because now the entire army is stuck here. They can't really move forward. Storm goes down. Lurkers do burrow, get on top, and then the Lurkers come from the front, get right mixed up into them. They're just standing there. But they do eventually burrow, and they are going to melt through this Protoss army. Heard a lot of Lurker death noises, but okay. Wow, okay, so Tentat lets Superman get the hatchery there, and Superman is going to be, look, I think they're going to be able to deny this base as well, so it is going to be 3 base to technically 4 base, even though there's really only 3 mining bases here for Superman. So economically, we're pretty even. It's just positionally, a Tentat is really far ahead. Supplies are even, which always favors Zerg in every matchup if supplies are even. But a lot of the army is back at home. But there really isn't anything here to... There's no High Templar here to be storming on the Hydralisks. Yeah. Fortunately, it's like the best times of the storm are either right before a fight starts, because the Hydralisks probably aren't being looked at in microed, so you can like storm on a clump of them that are just sitting around, or right like after the start of the fight, where the Zerg kind of is half committed to it. Again, I mean, you can just barely isn't breaking out again. Well, great snipes there on the Observer. Tentat's playing very well. Yeah, and this Hydralisk flank is going to completely deny this base. It seems like Superman is just going to get overwhelmed here. That was a good storm. Weakens up a lot of the Hydralisks. However, there really isn't the army follow-up to take them out. Let's see. Right. Don't know if we have a couple more storms. At this point, it is probably just inevitability. The Zerg wins. The Protoss units are just trickling in and getting shaved off at the moment they kind of clump up and accidentally move out. And Tentat is going to be able to just move Hydralisks up in here and kill the 3rd base for free, since Superman has no way of defending it. Oh, I guess, or not. Yeah, that the micro the Hydralisks a little bit, or just keep going. There we go. Hydralisks are a good unit. And it looks like the front is going to fall here very soon as well. Yeah. Should see game in a few moments. There's just a lot of Zerg. Yeah. Again, like Superman briefly can get out into here, but there's so much more room for the Zerg to like run back to and still have a really clean contain. I mean, especially without the 3rd base. I mean, the probes are gonna retreat right into a bunch of lurkers. Ooh, that's rough to see. Not enough energy. Maybe if Superman can get some unlimited energy on his High Templar, he will be able to have enough storms to bait these Hydralisks out, but unfortunately cheat codes do not work in multiplayer. and the game will end. Eventually, whenever he GG's. There's no minerals mining. We have... Well, you can't blame him for trying. This is, you know what, this is good practice. It's very, sometimes when you play Brood War, staying in a game longer than you should, obviously we can joke about it, and we can be like, haha, fantasy GG's. But, I think it's very good practice. I'm going to go ahead and switch back over to our splash screen. It's good practice in not GGing too early. Because there are a lot of games where you go, oh man, I'm just going to lose me. I lost. I made a mistake. I'm just going to GG because I'm tilted. And it's like, if you stay in the game, you never know. Because if a Tentat made a really bad mistake, and some of those later storms that missed a lot of the Hydralisks and he microed out of, if like a lot of those storms landed, that could have been a very different game. So, while it is funny to joke about the fantasy GG timings, I think especially like in a CPL and lower leagues, where your game knowledge and your like confidence of where a game is at is kind of like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Like, it feels like I'm losing. Well, sometimes you aren't actually losing. So, can be good in some ways. Our next match is going to be K1 Mura versus Superman in the much easier Protoss versus Terran matchup. We're going to see if once again, alright, let's take some bets. We're going to see if Superman once again, if our Protoss player is going to be in the top right of Eclipse as we load into our game. Because it seems like they're just staying there this whole week. What is it? Why? How? Okay, yep. The purple Protoss will not give up this top right base. Nope, that's the wrong thing to close. But in our top right, we have Superman playing against K1 Mura. And in the bottom left, we have K1 Mura playing against Superman. Why would I introduce it like that? That's... What? Okay. He's playing the red Terran. He's in the bottom right. And if history of the day's cast has told us anything, this is going to be a failed 2-fac into a really long macro game that the Terran just eventually gets outnumbered by. Because I'm not entirely sure. Because, listen, the purple Protoss has been in the top right every game that we've had a Protoss. I don't know if it's possible to change the names on a replay, but I'm not entirely positive that the same replay hasn't been submitted 5 times and they've just somehow changed the names. Our anti-zealot barracks placement on our forward gateway here from Superman. Yeah. Let's see. So the factory is built and the probe is killed. Do we have the retransfer back into the gas? We don't. I don't think we're going to see another 2 factory build. Cable Mirror is playing honorably. Superman is also playing honorably. Nothing cheesy going on here, just regular Dragoons and range. So we should see the command center and bunker get placed here soon. SCV is scared out, but he should live. Yeah. 5 health, he gets away. Nexus is placed down. Okay. 4th Marine is added on. There's a machine shop. And the command center is being built on the high ground for safety. However, Superman is also going for a very fast expansion, so this is going to delay K1 Mirror's base by just a little bit, and Superman will get a slight economic edge. You see the Dragoon is in position like, where's the bunker? I'm supposed to be shooting at something. But K1 Mirror has forgone the bunker, instead just gone for a high ground base. And the tank will still come out and be able to defend it. It's just that he's going to save some money on the bunker first. Unfortunate SCV pathing randomization. Does get trapped on the cliff, but he'll be free once the command center leaves. Alright. See the push out. Think he's getting spider mines before siege mode, which seems odd, being as how he's building 2 tanks. There goes the bunker, so the Dragoon will be able to provide at least some pressure for a little bit. After all, a tank micro can be especially risky. Not at this league, not at when there's only 1 or 2 Dragoons. You're kind of safe with that, but if Superman had dedicated a bunch of Dragoons here, then he'd be able to run down and maybe even get snipe the tank, which you can see he's attempting to do, but he's just getting a lot of damage on the Dragoon. Of course, again, this won't really matter as much since Superman was going for more of an economic opening with the earlier Nexus, and there's a Reaver on the way. So we're going to have drops, which are always fun. Vulture gets out, ready to scout and harass, but we have Dragoons moving to be in the way to block it and keep them out of the base. But there's enough of an opening here that the Vulture might be able to get in and get a couple kills. Reaver pops out, and the shuttle forgets it. No, go back, go back, go back. Okay, there we go. Alright. With the Reaver picked up, the shuttle can now start heading down and to try and harass. Turrets are in good position to defend it, though. There's a couple of spaces it could probably go. I would say maybe right here, but it looks like the supply depots are actually blocking everything in. So if the Reaver gets dropped in here, it actually can't hit the SCVs. Unfortunate for these 2 SCVs, though, who will die if the Reaver gets back there. Where is the... Okay, the shuttle's going to be coming in from this angle, so it will be under fire from a couple of missile turrets. It's just deciding to hop right in. Is it going to get the drop? Barely gets the Reaver in. And the Dragoon does Dragoon things and blocks the Scarab from doing all the damage that it could and needs to do. Alright, and then the Reaver will almost get picked off, but there's a Reaver in the main. Siege tanks are going to have to unsiege and come up to try and defend it. Otherwise, K1 Mirror is going to take a lot of damage. Alright, this Reaver will pick it off. But he lost a siege tank and a vulture. And I think maybe only 2 or 3 SCVs, so it wasn't a very successful drop, but it did do some minor damage. Right, Superman's going to be trying to take their 4th base, but a Spider Mine will prevent it until an observer gets over there. 2 Dragoons, keeping the Terran army trapped in the natural. To a really nice gateway count. Well, yeah, 6 gateways is okay. As the 3rd is coming up, you can probably want to add on another 4 or so. Depending on your SimC, that can be harder to. Maybe put a pylon like right here or something to build down like this hallway. Yeah, pylons go up to prevent vulture run-bys, so another good placement there. Yeah, K1 Mirror is going to be establishing their own 3rd base as Superman goes to begin taking their 4th. And both players are just chilling, macroing up, getting their resources, getting their bases, getting their armies, upgrades, etc. Are we gonna see arbiters? Perhaps. Huge Dragoon push out into the middle of the map. Not great. Takes a lot of pot shots from the tanks. Why are spider mines like this? Nice army you had there, Protoss nerd. Huh. Well, at least the 4th base is up. I mean, it seems to be a relatively even game, all things considered. This is about where supply should be, about where bases should be. Protoss army is taking a lot of unnecessary damage, but it's Protoss, so it's like you just build more things. It's okay. Arbiters are on the way. I don't see a stasis or recall being upgraded. I don't think they've started either of those. Now I'm gonna see it. We're gonna look for which of those upgrades they start first. Unless they've already research them. In which case, I'm gonna feel really dumb. Ah, they started stasis. That's the good one. Sometimes you don't start recall first as Protoss when you're going arbiters, because by the time recall finishes, and or by the time your arbiter finishes and you have enough energy for a recall, you've already researched recall and stasis. But if you research stasis first, you will have enough energy. Or wait, let me remember to get this right. If you research recall first and then stasis, when your arbiter is being made, by the time it has enough energy for stasis, it's still being researched, so you won't have the energy for recall. But if you start stasis first and then recall, you will have enough energy for like stasis when your arbiter gets to that energy threshold, and you will have enough energy for recall when the recall finishes, I think, technically. Really good positioning here from K1 Mirror, just doing the Terran thing, slowly moving out, keeping his army together, keeping a good arc of siege tanks to keep all the angles covered, and building missile turrets as he needs to defend from the flying menace that is the Arbiter. If we check upgrades here really quick, Terran looks really good. They're getting really close to the 2-1 upgrade that really turns them into, the timing of it is extremely scary, as Terran upgrades scale insanely well. Protoss upgrades scale okay. So once Terran catches up in upgrades, or even possibly surpasses the Protoss in upgrades. What is he getting shot at? Oh. Oh. Oh, you hate to see it. Drop coming in. 4 vultures. 4 vultures. There's enough photon cannons here to defend it, though. Especially since, well, they will deny this probe being able to start the 5th. I'm sorry, the 6th. And the cannons here behind the Nexus won't be able to save these probes in the mineral line, so that was pretty good too. Man, K1 Mura is up 2 bases over, or Superman is up 2 bases over K1 Mura. Yeah, eventually these photon cannons will inch back and take these vultures out. And the dropship as well. That's pretty good. Yeah. There's some arbiters. Oh no. Doesn't look like K1 Mura has really gotten into like making a bunch of Goliaths, which really is sort of the next step for Terran once Protoss starts getting their big capital ships, the Arbiters and the Carriers. You really need to start getting just an absolute truckload of Goliaths to shoot them down. Okay, Arbiter comes in, there's the energy, there's the recall. Yeah, this isn't a base. And the supply depot placement meant to protect the Terran army, the Terran base, from roaming Protoss forces. Instead, keeps the Terran out from being able to defend it. The command center is probably going to die, and that is a huge victory for Superman. At the same time, a huge push-in comes in into the main attack here, but there are a lot more siege tanks in this part of the map than there were in this part of the map. And the Dragoons attacking in are going to get completely melted. For a brief moment, K1 Mirror actually has a supply lead, although Superman quickly replaces it with their 5 base, I guess 4 mining bases, and massive production advantage. Dragoons up on the up on the ramp, kind of just bait and keep the siege tanks down there for as long as possible. An SCV or Zealot even gets some SCV kills. So unfortunate. So while K1 Mirror defended this angle really well, the attack in there by Superman did not really get a whole lot done. Losing this base is huge, and if an SCV does not repair that command center, it will burn down, because that is a very fun mechanic. We're just going to leave that unit tab on while we look at the rest of the thing, just in case. Alright, Superman coming in again with their sort of replenished forces. Again, another Arbiter has come down. It looks like, I guess the other two were cleared by the missile turrets and Goliath, so Superman is going to have to rebuild their Arbiter count. However, they're on 2 Stargates now. They have a lot of gas. Wow. Turns out, mining from 4 bases is pretty good. That is 2 Arbiter per... That's a lot of Arbiters. He's going to be going up to 5 on his maxed out base. Oh, he gets an SCV to repair it. Alright. It's not a mistake. People usually don't let their buildings burn down, but you have to make sure. You have to check, because it's very funny when it happens. It's just one of those Brood War things where it's like, oh, I forgot that I didn't do that. Oh shit. Alright. That's a lot of siege tanks. And it looks like Superman's army is mostly Dragoons. We have a stasis. Looks like a stasis wants to go down there, but just doesn't quite. Yeah. Kilmer has their 3rd base back up. They're getting their 4th developed, and since Superman's entire army is kind of positioned over here, but then again, there's Arbiters, so recall exists, and they can just kind of teleport to that 4th base if Superman sees it and wants to punish it. Ooh, Spider-Mine almost goes off and kills the entire Terran army. Or nothing, depending on how far the Spider-Mine splash range decides to be that day. 2 more Arbiters filter in. We're now at 5 Arbiters, so we'll take 5 science vessels to fully detect the Protoss army. Ooh, really nice. Stasis goes down, but the science vessel does get a EMP off and drains the other Arbiters of their energy. This one, however, does still have 1 more stasis left in it. There's a couple of really good spots, can hit a lot of the tanks, but the Protoss army is thinning just a bit too much. A stasis goes down, gets 4 in the back, as more Arbiters are added in. Superman going up to 7 Arbiters. Not the greatest of fighting units. I don't think they scale too well in numbers. They're not like, you know, siege tanks and Goliaths, or carriers. Those scale really well, where if you get like 4 carriers, it's okay. If you get 8 carriers, it's amazing. If you get 12 carriers, you win the game. I'm not sure if the same thing applies to Arbiters, but we might find out. Looks like all the Arbiters, some of them might have energy. Yeah, we have like 1 stasis, 2 stasis in this little group here. So Superman can fight, and he's taken a 6th base. Superman can fight with well-placed stasises. It makes it especially hard for the Terran to move out, because if the tanks even started behind just a little bit, the Arbiters swoop in into the back, stasis all the stasis all the tanks in the back, and just they progressively fight through the Terran army. But if you're putting so much supply into Arbiters, how much Protoss army are you really going to be able to make? Arbiter comes in. Where are we going to see the... Doesn't look like a stasis is coming down. Stasis goes down on the science vessel. That's a decent play. It prevents an EMP hitting the rest of the Arbiters, and it doesn't look like there are any more science vessels to also do that. Yeah. Zealot's tanking a lot of... Oh man, and with the science vessel and stasis, there also isn't any detection here. And a lot of the Protoss army, I guess, is either unhotkeyed or just lagging behind. They're gonna run in. A couple weird stasises leave these siege tanks kind of sandwiched in the middle, where the Protoss army is getting caught up on these ones in the front. They're not really doing anything to the ones in the back. And now we have 7 Arbiters going to 8. That's just excessive. Yeah. Man, if he had gotten a lot more Goliaths, like so many of these Arbiters would just get nuked so fast, but they have so many stasises in them. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I mean, I'm saying he should get Goliaths, but I mean, can he? He's just now starting to mine off of that 4th base. I heard another stasis go down. How many stasi will these Arbiters have in them? K1 Mirror GG Superman with the mass Arbiter strats wins the second game of the group. Third game of the group. Fourth game is going to be K1 Mura versus AKE Vader in a Terran versus Terran. How long have we been... Okay. Well, I assume the majority of this cast is going to be in this replay. But, at the very least, we're guaranteed to have the Terran music, which is... See, Terran is imbalanced for one reason, and that's that they have the best music. That's the wrong player to put there. In the top right corner of Eclipse, we have AKE Vader, who I guess in a spin-off episode was able to take back the top right of Eclipse from the Protoss, but K1 Mura really wanted to have it to himself, so he's assaulting the red Terran base from the bottom left of Eclipse as the blue Terran squad. I meant AKE Vader is the blue oh my god. This is an unfortunate cast. So, to addendum our story here. K1 Mura in an alternate timeline killed the Protoss, and now AKE Vader's trying to kill him. Alright, we're done. We fixed it. We're good. We did it. The timeline has been saved. Order has been restored. And my evil version won't come and kill me anymore. Or isn't coming to kill me anymore. K1 Mura. Both players doing the Terran thing. The same exact thing. We have a barracks into a refinery. Assume we're going to see a factory after that. Or K1 Mura hides a supply depot in the top left of their base. while AKE Vader sends a very early scout out. And he's going to see that K1 Muir is doing the Terran thing. Yeah, both players just... build order is very similar so far. I mean, there's a bit of a differentiation between the exact timings, but I don't think it matters too much. The SCV will get in and scout, sees the factory, sees the everything else. Might miss the supply depot, and nope, he sees the supply depot, so perfect information. He knows exactly what's going on, but K1 Mira has no idea what is occurring on the other side of the map. It actually looks like... well, this SCV... what is he doing up here, up there? What's this guy doing up there? Oh. AKE Vader living on in spirit in our various other Terran games. He's going for the 2-fac. Which, K1 Mira is going for an expansion. If K1 Mira, I guess, goes siege tanks? Oh no, they're both getting vultures. Okay, but if K1 Mira does get a siege tank on the ramp up here, he should be able to defend that pretty easily. Not pretty easily, but he should be able to defend it. His expansion is going to still be very delayed. Yeah, both players blocking their ramp to make sure the other one can't run up it. But AKE Vader is getting, yeah, he's definitely going to be pushing very hard, and it's going to be on K1 Mira to defend this. There is vulture speed, and I assume siege mode from the second one. No, mines. Oh, I guess mines make sense. It looks like... okay, so AKV is just going full 2-fac vulture. No siege tank required. This is a very deadly build. I can really punish the other player, because the thing is, vultures kill workers very fast. They're kind of like a Terran Mutalisk, except they can't fly, so they're much worse than a Mutalisk. But it can become the case where in TVT, you're just getting a bunch of these vultures. Your opponent also has to get a bunch of vultures to fight them. Because, I mean, once you tech into tanks, the vultures can lay mines around the tanks and kill it that way. But now, like, the tech behind... the K1 Mira's tech is going to be really far behind. He just... vulture speed just finished, but AKE Vader has vulture speed and spider mines. Oh man, and K1 Mira isn't even going for siege mode, so it's just pure vulture on both sides. Except AKE Vader has had the like the benefit. Okay, first attack goes in. Oh man, these two Marines are doing a lot of work, really softening the vultures up for K1 Mira to finish them off. Wow, so actually, K1 Mira defended that really well. I mean, the two Marines didn't get picked off, so they were able to provide that consistent damage, while the vultures just did the chipped away at them, eventually won. And now K1 Mira is in 3 factory production, has an expansion, and is also going pure vulture. So, I mean, you can lay spider mines out all he wants. I mean, spider mines don't actually do anything against vultures, since vultures technically float. So K1 Mira, if he just goes pure vulture, he could eventually just out macro and just beat Vader in terms of vulture numbers. But he does have to be very careful. If he takes like a fight up a ramp, then the math can get very complicated. Vader finally getting their expansion started. A couple of other SCVs, they head out into the middle of the map to start repairing vultures. That can be very important. But man, K1 Mira is just, yeah, diving up here to kill the vultures. He's going to just completely overpower them, even with the high ground mischance. These vultures are so low health. Oh no, the reinforcements are coming. That one vulture tanks so many missed shots. Really probably should have microed him up up the ramp. And wow, that fight was a lot more even. K1 Mira, a bit of a mishandling there by K1 Mira. Tilts it a little in Vader's favor, as well as the Spider Mine dragging and killing another vulture. It looks like Vader actually is going to be able to pull this off after that disastrous first attack. Oh no. Nope. Wow, okay. Well, the SCVs here are going to pull from K1 Mira, and they're going to clear those. And now, I mean, Vader doesn't have anything. I'm not sure how to cast. I'm not sure who's winning this game. Vultures take that out. Vulture gets in the main. Spider Mine denied. Yeah. I think K1 Mira just runs across the map and wins, if he feels like it. Because it feels like he can. I did see siege mode research here from Vader, so he might be able to squeeze a siege tank in and pop it on the cliff here to defend from vultures. But ooh, lots of oh man, lots of spider mines get cleared there by each other, as AKA Vader sets up another little minefield out there. And then the vultures are going to get into the base, and there is nothing at home to defend, and everything will die. Both players floating a lot of gas. That's an insane amount of gas, but I guess if you're just going pure vulture, there is no reason for it. Okay, Vader tries to pull some vultures back, but some pretty good focus fire from K1 evens the fight up. I think K1 will eventually lose this fight, but does he just add on another? So he's at 4 factory vulture. Both players just going pure vulture at this point. I guess if they go anything else, they will lose. AKV, I mean, I still think K1 is pretty clearly in the lead. You get 6 vultures in the mineral line. Yeah, as someone pointed out, you can just look at the difference. And this should be the killing blow. I don't think there's a single way AKA... I don't think there's a single way Vader... Oh, wait, no. I don't think there's a single way Vader defends this. And there's the GG. K1 Mira takes our second to last game of Group 22 for the day. Our final match is going to be a Protoss versus Terran. It's going to be Superman versus Vader. And we're going to get into it. All right, this is going to be our, like I said, our final match. We're going to just go right into it, start casting it, and see what happens in a Protoss versus Terran to see if Superman's mass arbiter strats are the way to go. In the, oh gosh, now I need to change the scene. All right, in the bottom left, in the blue Terran, we have AKE Vader. I'm just going to say Vader because AKE is kind of a mouth. It's hard to say sometimes. His opponent in the top right again. All right. I don't know what happened, but I'm pretty sure they were playing on like use map settings and they set their spawn positions to here, because I don't think it's possible for them to randomly play on Eclipse for all the Protosses across both the groups we've played today, for them to never spawn in the bottom left. It defies reason. And that was a scout on a pylon. That's not... What are you doing? Wait a minute. Wait. Yeah, you don't scout on pylon against Terran. Oh man, are we gonna see a gas steal or a manor pile? We're gonna see something. So the pro really wants to do it. And yep. Jesus. There it is. The gas steal. Very annoying move by the Protoss there. It's going to delay the Terran factory all that much more, but they will probably just get their command center earlier and get the bunker up earlier instead. Not the end of the world, just annoying. No. See if Superman gets their own assimilator up. Okay, so no assimilator from Superbad. That seems like it. No, okay, it's just late. Again, the problem with trying to call things is you are always proven wrong the second afterwards. Alright, AK Vader goes to start destroying the assimilator to try and get the resources to build their factory. But in the meantime, they're able to start their... Oh, of course the Zealot is walking across the map. Because I think the Marines can walk through there and the Zealot can't, so there at the very least is a... oh man, is he going to be able to get the re-assimilation? Sometimes be very funny. Okay, probe does go down, and the Marines should be able to deal with the Zealot pretty easily. Good blocks by the SCVs. Oh wow. Bit of a stutter there. Yeah, Marines are doing a great job of kiting this Zealot around. Looks like one might get caught out, but ooh, the Zealot is on move command. They're trying to catch a Marine, it's just not working. Ooh, and both those Marines get only kind of wounded. Oh no, there is a Cybernetics Core, never mind. But this is not a great position because Vader really wants to get their bunker up in time, and also it looks like they have 4 SCVs on gas, no factory on the way. See, the Zealots are really taxing the micro here and causing everything to be late. And it's not going to end. There's another Zealot on the way, and then following up after him is going to be a Dragoon. That is an unfortunate thing. Vader's just gonna... He has to be content with leaving his command center behind and just building SCVs from it in his main. Here come... Oh no! Oh, a really bad micro there. Unfortunately, leaves another Marine caught out in the open, and the Zealots are gonna be able to tear it apart. I think in this kind of position, if the Zealots are still in the main, you maybe just build a bunker. You bite your teeth, you just say, okay, fine. I need to be safe. You build a bunker like right here, and then you just deal with it that way. Because otherwise, you run the risk of this happening. And the Protoss successfully defends the top right of Eclipse once again, rounding out the last of our CPL games for today.